Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. Approximately every 25 seconds, an American will have a coronary event, and about every 1 minute will die from one. There are many factors that put one at risk for heart disease, and many steps that can be taken to reduce that risk. Stay tuned to learn how you can prevent heart disease. Hi, I'm Allison Asher, and today I'm your host for FLVS Student News. Today, our topic is the cardiovascular system. Before I go to the interview, I'm going to go over some facts about the cardiovascular system, heart disease, and prevention. Now, what is the cardiovascular system? Well, the cardiovascular system is one of the major body systems that makes sure the muscles and bones are supplied with a proper amount of oxygen and blood. Now, here are some ways that you can prevent heart disease. Well, you can become more physically active. If you smoke, stop smoking, and if you don't smoke, don't start, because smoking is one of the main causes of heart disease. You can reduce your stress. You can take a bubble bath, get a massage. Eat more fish, like salmon, tuna, mackerel, poultry, lean meat, fruit, whole grains, and if you're over 21, then you can drink some red wine. Now, do you know how to monitor your own heart rate? It's mainly just checking your pulse. You can use 2 fingers on your wrist, or you can go up your jawline and check your neck. And you count for a minute, and yeah. Or you can count for 10 seconds and times it by 6. Okay, and why is monitoring your heart rate important? It's because you can safely work out. Monitoring your heart rate can help you determine the level at which you are exercising. As the level of exertion increases, so does your heart rate. And what do you think triggers unhealthy heart rate? Well, there's the unchecked diabetes, obesity, and then there's too much bad cholesterol, also known as LDL cholesterol. Smoking, like I said, little to no physical activity, poor diet and eating habits, and high blood pressure. Next, I'll be interviewing 3 people, asking them the same questions I just answered, to see what they know about the cardiovascular disease and about the cardiovascular disease and prevention. Hi, this is Abby Asher. She's a 12-year-old middle school student, and I'll be asking her a few simple questions on the cardiovascular system. Abby, what is the cardiovascular system?
Well, the cardiovascular system is one of the major body systems that makes sure that you have the right amount of oxygen in your blood and your muscles.
Alright, and how do you prevent cardiovascular disease?
If you eat right, if you don't take drugs, don't have a high blood pressure.
Don't smoke.
Don't do drugs. I think I already said that.
Okay, and how do you check your pulse?
Well, if you take your index finger and your middle finger, and if you put it against your wrist, there's a pulse right there, and then there's a pulse on your neck right here, so you can test your heart rate.
Alright, and why is that important?
Because if you work out and stuff, you want to make sure, how fast your heart is and everything, how fast the beat is and everything, and, if you're, really, lazy, then, your heart probably beats really slow, but when you're, really active, it, beats really fast, so you can just determine it's healthy.
Alright, and what do you think triggers unhealthy heart rate?
Obesity, high blood pressure, not working out, stuff like that.
Alright, thank you, Abby. Hi, this is Gary Asher. He is a 50-year-old male, and I'm going to ask him some simple questions on the cardiovascular system. Gary, what is the cardiovascular system?
Well, it's the veins and arteries and capillaries, big network of blood, and your heart.
Okay. What do you think you need to do to prevent heart disease?
Get a lot of exercise, eat well, eat correctly, don't smoke, and stay away from bad drugs.
All right. Do you know how to monitor your own heart rate?
Yes, I do. You can take your pulse by using your index finger and your ring finger and gently pushing on one of your veins and count the pulses over a minute. And
Okay.
that's your rate.
And what do you think triggers unhealthy heart rate?
Stress, probably smoking, high blood pressure, probably. Not taking very good care of yourself at all.
Okay. And why is monitoring your heart rate important?
Well, if you're exercising, monitoring your heart rate is important because you can see how, if you're improving, the lower the heart rate, the better, especially when you're exercising. And when you do exercise and your heart rate goes up high, how fast does it go back to normal is a big thing too, and you want to improve that. So if you monitor your heart rate and take records, then you'll be able to tell if you're improving or not.
Thank you. This is Coletta Walker. She is 66 years old, and I'm going to be asking her some simple questions on the cardiovascular system. Coletta, what is the cardiovascular system?
It's the arteries and veins that go through a body, taking blood and oxygen to different organs.
All right. What does the public need to know about cardiovascular disease and prevention?
Well, they need to know how serious cardiovascular disease is so that they can change their lifestyle, maybe quit smoking, exercise more, and eat the right foods.
Okay. Do you know how to monitor your heart rate?
Well, I know how to take my pulse on my wrist.
Okay, and how do you do that?
I just hold 2 fingers over that artery in my wrist and then count how many times it beats in 1 minute.
Okay. Why is monitoring your heart rate important?
Well, I think then you know if your heart's beating too fast, you might be having a heart attack, or I think it's supposed to be below 100 or maybe 110 or something. So I think it's important to be able to know how to check it.
Okay, and what do you think triggers an unhealthy heart rate?
I think bad eating habits, not getting enough exercise, smoking, diabetes, and if you're under a lot of stress in your life, that can cause problems too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.